Alright, back again since I've been slacking for like, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4 months. I don't even know how long ago it was last time I worked on this thing. Anyways, got some motivation recently. Someone local actually called and started talking to me about Mustang. He's rebuilding or restoring a 68 Fastback. Wish that's what I had. But anyways, gave me some input, talked to me a good bit, and anyways, got me back on track, got me wanting to work on this thing again. So I finally, instead of constantly thinking of how I was going to replace this without digging into the upper cowl, I said screw it, it's taking too long. So people say these things are hard to remove, but really it's just like it just lifts right on off. I don't know what the big deal is. No, but in reality there's like a million freaking spot welds in these things. I pity anyone else that has to do this. But this side that has to be replaced because this was actually rotted away on the side. I cut into it, but it was rotted out. And then underneath, of course, is rotted up pretty bad, you could tell. So I got the replacement one, which is sitting right there. Passenger side seemed to be pretty good. It's got some surface rust, but structurally it's sound. The worst spot is like right here. All along the base is good. Needs to be cleaned up and re-seam sealed and re-seam the inside rim. Contemplating whether or not I want to blast the inside of this to make it easy instead of trying to dig down these little grooves. I have this little mini blaster here, Harbor Freight Special. Might use it. He also talked me into possibly getting a one-piece floor, which I did find one that's, I believe, is the from the front kicks all the way across and back to this area. And I know they make the ones that include the trunk and everything, but I don't need the trunk area. So I don't remember what the price it was, but if the price is 500 or less, or somewhere right around 500, screw it. I'm just gonna one whole floor piece it, just make another order. I've got passenger and driver side floor that I already bought, but it'll make this a whole hell of a lot easier to put together than trying to stitch weld all the way down each side of it. And it'll also give me my spacing side to side perfect, because it comes flange to flange. So, and with the firewall out, I don't have to do that crazy finagling to fit it in. I should just be able to swing it right in from the front. Normally I think they bring them in from like the back or something. I don't even remember. I saw someone do a video on it, but I want to say he lifted his in from like underneath the back side of it to fit it up to the firewall. So the only thing I'll have to do is, of course, pop this little brace I built. I'll have to pop that spot weld off, finish chopping out the middle, and I should be able to leave this little cross brace along with the one in the back. You see this angle iron right there. I should be able to leave that in place as well. And I'll have to finish cleaning up the sides that are pretty nasty, and finish getting rid of this lip of the floor that was left because I just plasmed the old one out. See my pretty nasty welds here. Hopefully those don't end up causing me rust issues down the road, since they are ugly as hell. But I still have to do this side kick, or this lower, I think it's lower cowl side panel or something like that is what they're called. I've got it in the back. That's actually the whole section all the way back to here, because originally I was going to replace this piece too, and you have to dig into it way too far to replace this. So I'm thinking I'm just going to clean this little lip up, put some kind of rust converter in between here, hammer that back flat, and weld it up just like I did this side. I'll go ahead and epoxy under the dash, which is another reason why I'm tempted to sandblast the upper side, is because I can go ahead and blast inside of here and underneath, make it nice and clean. The only downside is this car is no longer movable, so I can't bring it outside, which means I'm going to be putting sand everywhere inside of here, or blast media, whatever you want to call it, if I did that. Last time I hung up tarps around the ceiling, but it still managed to get by somehow, even though I tarped off the roof, or ran tarp all the way down the side walls to where I was enclosed. Pretty much it was like a teepee over the top of the car. Somehow, some way, sand or media still got everywhere. But that's where I'm at. Spent about, I don't know, maybe 2 hours doing this. Wasn't too bad, except for the worst part is where they brazed it with brass on the side. I thought a propane torch would melt it. I was wrong. I gave up and just put the grinder to it. This side's pretty nasty, but I'll clean it up with wire wheel or something, hopefully. But that's where I'm at. Next stage will be, fixing this cowl, getting rid of the rust stuff that's on the underside of the dash, underside of the cowl, inside of the cowl, epoxying this, throwing some kind of coating on it, and people give some input if you don't mind on what y'all use for inside of the cowl. Well, give me input of what you've used inside of the cowl and how long you've had it. Because, I mean, it's nothing to spray something on there. I want to know what's actually lasted. I'd love something that would convert, this light surface rust. This is easy to get to, but like down in these grooves, I'd love something I could throw in here pretty thick and would seep into the little grooves and convert or encapsulate what rust is there. I have, Eastwood's rust encapsulator, rust converter, all that good stuff, but I don't know. I'm kind of sketch on how long it'll actually hold up. I trust the epoxy way more, but the downside is the epoxy you have to have completely clean bare metal. This section's no problem. Down in here, not so much. I might have to mask this area off, epoxy everything, and then down in here, rust convert and just throw a shit ton of seam seal over it and hope for the best. But let me know what y'all use. Let me know how long you've used it. Hopefully somebody that restores for a more than just a hobby. We'll throw in some input what the best thing to put inside of these cowls is. I've heard of Pour 15. I've heard a bunch of negatives of it. So it's both ways. I looked into getting a front clip. I was real tempted to get they sell like a whole front frame with the Mustang 2 cross member already welded together and this little radiator front brace welded already too. They want damn near $2,000 for that damn thing. I've already got frame rails. I've got $400 in. This I was going to reuse because it's not in bad shape. It just needs to be cleaned up. Although this bottom piece is $60. I think this whole piece together is like 100 and something. It's not even that bad to replace. But so I scrapped that idea. I'm not dropping $2,000 on the front for just frame materials. I don't even know how that shit added up to be that high. Like, unless they're just charging that much for the labor, and I know they got jigs and shit to put it together. I could swing $1,000 maybe, but $2,000 is ridiculous. Especially when I'm going to be dropping $5,000 or so. Well, I say $5,000, about $4,000 or so in the Mustang 2 front suspension and brakes. More like $5,000 if I go with the 6-piston like I want. And I haven't even started on the back. I've got the suspension already, but the brakes I still got to buy. They'll be 4-piston Willwoods. So yeah. Cowl, rust treat, coat. Floor pans will have to be next, even though I've got the firewall there on the floor right here. But I'll have to leave that out for the time being to get the floor in. I might go ahead and weld the cowl up once I get it all together, and then self-tap the firewall in place just to kind of hold it together and see how it looks, and then wait on the floor to come in, because I don't know if I'll be ready to order that right now or not. If I do, I'll have to throw it on a credit card. And another thing that I was told whenever I talked to the guy from Biloxi, he was saying that he used his suspension to pretty much hold his body together and to I guess help align and get so you weren't so tight on your measurements. It would pretty much help you line everything up because it bolts up to your rear or your front leaf spring mount, and then the whole frame piece, I'm blanking on what the term is for it, but the whatever connects your front and rear frame rails. I can't think of the damn name of it right now, but anyways, that bolts up to that, and then it connects to another section that bolts to the front frame rails, these deals. Well, the frame rail extensions, these little bad boys. So once I get my cowl and stuff done, I might start rigging that up, but I don't know if I'll be able to with these braces in. I doubt they'll fit in with that there. So I might not bother with that until I'm ready to take those out. I still have to epoxy them as well. They're up in my attic inside. But I guess until next time, guys, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you like what you see, or if you want to keep up with progress. Like I said, I hit dry spells where I'll slack for a while, so hopefully you won't expect videos weekly. I'm not one of those people. I got a job, I got other hobbies, I got a bunch of other stuff on the table, so this is not a top priority project. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Later.